Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Paranormal News. We've got a doozy of a show tonight. In this one, we've got Annabelle. Did she escape or did she not escape? Is it true or is it not true? We're going to find that out tonight. We also have a little doll that is moving on its own on a TikTok video. I will read you the article and I will show you the video so you can see it for yourself. We also have a bubble around the earth and Ireland's most haunted castle or hotel or something like that for sale. So without further ado, let's get to the articles. All right, the title of this article is I'd Be Concerned If Annabelle Really Did Leave. Museum owner puts haunted doll escape rumors to rest. Owner Terry Spera addressed Annabelle's escape rumors on social media in YouTube video. Yes, it's still true. Annabelle the Haunted Doll has not escaped from the Warren Occult Museum, located in Monroe, Connecticut. However, to reassure social media users, the escape is nothing more than a hoax. Museum owner and caretaker of Annabelle, Tony Spera, also the son-in-law of Edward and Lorraine Warren, posted a video to YouTube and stood alongside the doll on display, proving she is right where she belongs. I'm in here in the museum because of the rumors that Annabelle has escaped, Spera said in the video. I gotta tell you something. I don't know if you're gonna want to hear this or not, but Annabelle did not escape. She didn't take a trip, she didn't fly first class, and she didn't go visit her boyfriend. Annabelle's alive. Well, I shouldn't say alive. Annabelle is here in all of her infamous glory. She never left the museum, Spera assured social media users. The rumors of Annabelle's escape began Friday after an internet user changed the doll's Wikipedia page, claiming she had escaped from the museum. The Wikipedia page has since been corrected. Still, social media was ablaze with the rumor. Spera said in the YouTube video that the museum, which is currently closed due to a zoning violation last year, has high-tech security. So if the doll actually had left the premises, Spera said he would have been aware. Remember, I have high-tech security here. If she had left the museum, I'd instantly know if something happened or if someone broke in, Spera said. We have good alarm systems here, and the police are very good to respond. Ultimately, Spera said he wants to put the rumors to rest, but that isn't without a word of caution. In case Annabelle did actually ever leave. Let's put the rumors to rest, guys, Spera said. I appreciate all the concern. I'd be concerned if Annabelle really did leave because she's nothing to play with. Annabelle's story was told in the horror film series The Conjuring, and she resides in the Warrens Museum for the time being. Before she was turned over to the Warrens, the doll was first owned by two women who claimed she was moving through their apartment and was leaving written notes, according to a Newsweek report. The owners of the doll then consulted with a psychic. Some paranormal experts claim the doll was tied to a demonic spirit, pretending to be a child. Newsweek reports. Eventually the doll went into the Warrens' possession, which led to Annabelle being housed in their museum before its closure. Even on the Warrens' first car ride with the doll, Newsweek said the pair claimed they were put in serious danger, and they believed Annabelle caused their car's brakes to fail. And that is the end of the article, so you can rest easy. Annabelle has not escaped. That is all a rumor and a hoax. It is not true. Annabelle is still kept safe and sound in the Warrens Museum. This next story comes from Yahoo Life, and it is titled In the Know. Haunted moving toy leaves TikTok users horror-struck. You need to cleanse that room. It was written by Morgan Greenwald, August 10th, 2020. A TikTok user is freaking people out after capturing a haunted toy moving on camera. On August 2nd, user Holly Armstrong posted a video of a Chucky-esque doll sitting on the top shelf of a closet, which already has nearly 1 million likes. Though you can't see the doll's face in the video, you can see its legs, and they are inexplicably moving as if the doll is tapping its feet. In overlaid text, Armstrong said that she took the video 5 seconds before she jetted out of the house and threw a match behind her. Of course, Armstrong didn't actually set the house on fire, but the seemingly possessed doll did spook her and plenty of people in the comments. I'm terrified, one person said. Nah, bro, that's Chucky, another user added. You need to cleanse that room and tell that spirit to go, a third person noted. Since many people were concerned for Armstrong's safety, She posted a follow-up video on August 6th, explaining that she came across a doll while house sitting. I felt creepy crawlies just being upstairs by myself, she said. All that happened is I left afterwards and I notified the family. They're going to further investigate it. And that is, I believe, the end of the article. All right, so now let's go and let's actually check out this video. Well, there you saw it for yourself. The doll's legs were moving and kicking. Now, could that have been faked? Could it be done with strings like a puppeteer kind of thing? Maybe. You don't get to see enough of it to really make a really good call on it. It is partially hidden, but there you have it. You can judge for yourself. This next article comes from SmithsonianMagazine.com, and the title is You Could Be the Next Owner of Ireland's Most Haunted House. Local legend claims that the devil visited Loftus Hall, now on sale for $2.87 million during the 18th century. It was written by Teresa Mathamer. That is a picture right there of the actual property. It's a pretty spooky looking place. It's 22 bedroom, 63 acres of land, not bad. It's written by Teresa Mathamer on July 28th, 2020. On a stormy night in the 18th century, a stranger came knocking on the door of Ireland's Loftus Hall. Since the property's private shoreline was a common stopping point for sailors navigating turbulent weather, its residents, the Tottenham family, didn't find the visit unusual. The man stayed for several days, befriending the family and taking a particular shine to one of the owner's daughters, Anne. One day the Tottenhams gathered to play a game of cards with their guest. They were about to start a round when Anne realized she dropped either her ring or a card. When she leaned down to pick it up, she saw that the stranger had cloven hoofs, a sure sign of a satanic spirit. As Anne screamed with fright, the man escaped through the ceiling. A sudden clap of thunder sounded, and a cloud of smoke appeared, leaving the family surrounded by the smell of burning sulfur. Anne never recovered from the shock, and after her death, her restless spirit started wandering the house's halls, or so the story goes. Now reports Michael Debzik for Mental Floss, the historic mansion at the center of this local legend is on sale for $2.87 million. Loftus Hall's most recent owners, Shane and Aidan Quigley, purchased the home in 2011, completing serious structural renovations while retaining the home's spooky character. They also started offering haunted tours and overnight programs. The county Wexford estate made headlines in 2014 when visitor Thomas Beavis snapped a photo that some observers interpreted as two ghostly figures standing in a window, per Joanna Gillen of Ancient Origins. The following year, American TV show Ghost Adventures spotlighted the hall in a Halloween special. According to Irish Central, the Marquis of Ely built the mansion seen today over the ruins of Redmond Hall, a 14th century property purchased by the eponymous Loftus family during the 17th century. Constructed between 1865 and 1875, the current building almost entirely replaced the one featured in the ghost story. Long after the stranger's visit, renovations reportedly unearthed the remains of a young infant hidden in the walls of the tapestry room, where Anne was supposedly isolated after her brush with the devil. The discovery led some to speculate that the young woman was shut away after getting pregnant out of wedlock, perhaps due to a rendezvous with a mysterious stranger, later cast as the devil in disguise, writes Linda Daly for Mansion Global. During the 20th century, the 22-bedroom mansion served as a convent and a hotel, per the Sunday Times author Ian Colfer, based on Artemis Fowl series Fowl Manor on Loftus Hall, after working at the then hotel as a teenager. But by the time the Quigleys purchased the property in 2011, it was in a decidedly derelict state. The family undertook extensive construction work, including repairing the roof and restoring the Great Hall's Italian staircase and stained glass skylight. Though they intentionally preserved certain historical features, like the house's peeling wallpaper, they also added modern amenities such as a cafe and a reception area. The 27,124 square foot property's next owner will have their work cut out for them. Replacing the building's 97 windows alone could cost more than $400,000. Aidan quickly tells the Irish Times, Alana Gallagher. Understandably, Aidan explains to the Times he intends to sell Loftus Hall to someone who's willing to put in the effort. I'm not just going to sell it to anyone, he says. I'll be interviewing potential buyers. If a state body comes in, that's an option. If an American owner wants to live here, I'd be keen to work with them to restore it. And that is the end of the article. Alright, this article is from ScienceAlert.com, and the title is There's a Detectable Human-Made Barrier Surrounding Earth. In 2017, NASA space probes detected a massive human-made barrier surrounding Earth, and tests have confirmed that it's actually having an effect on space weather far beyond our planet's atmosphere. That means we're not just changing Earth so severely. Scientists are calling for a whole new geological epoch to be named after us. Our activities have been changing space too. But the good news is that unlike our influence on the planet itself, the humongous bubble we created out in space is actually working in our favor. Back in 2012, NASA launched 2 space probes to work in tandem with each other as they whiz through Earth's Van Allen belts at speeds around 3,200 kilometers an hour, which is 2,000 miles per hour. Our planet is surrounded by 2 such radiation belts and a temporary third one. The inner belt stretches from around 640 to 9,600 kilometers, or 400 to 6,000 miles, above Earth's surface, while the outer belt occupies an altitude of roughly 13,500 to 58,000 kilometers, or 8,400 to 36,000 miles. Last year, the Van Allen probes detected something strange as they monitored the activity of charged particles caught within Earth's magnetic field. These dangerous solar discharges were being kept at bay by some kind of low-frequency barrier. When researchers investigated, they found that this barrier had been actively pushing the Van Allen belts away from Earth over the past few decades. And now the lower limits of the radiation streams are actually further away from us than they were in the 1960s. So what's changed? A certain type of communications called very low frequencies, VLF radio communications, have become far more common now than in the 60s. And the team at NASA confirmed that they can influence how and where certain particles in space move about. In other words, thanks to VLF, we now have anthropogenic or human-made space weather. A number of experiments and observations have figured out that under the right conditions, radio communication signals in the VLF frequency range can in fact affect the properties of high-energy radiation environment around the Earth, said one of the team, Phil Erickson from the MIT Haystack Observatory in Massachusetts back in 2017. Most of us won't have much to do with VLF signals in our everyday life, but they're a mainstay in many engineering, scientific, and military operations. With frequencies between 3 and 30 kilohertz, they're far too weak to carry audio transmissions, but they're perfect for broadcasting coded message across long distances or deep underwater. One of the most common uses of VLF signals is to communicate with deep-sea submarines, but because of their large wavelengths, can diffract around large obstacles such as mountain ranges. They're also used to achieve transmissions across tricky terrain. It was never the intention for VLF signals to go anywhere other than on Earth, but it turns out they've been leaking into space surrounding our planet and have lingered long enough to form a giant protective bubble. When the Van Allen probes compared the location of the VLF bubble to the bounds of Earth's radiation belts, they found what initially looked like an interesting coincidence. The outward extent of the VLF bubble corresponds almost exactly to the inner edge of the Van Allen radiation belt, said NASA. But once they realized the VLF signals can actually influence the movement of the charged particles within these radiation belts, they realized that our unintentional human-made barrier has been progressively pushing them back. One of the team, Dan Baker, from the University of Colorado's Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics, referred to this as the impenetrable barrier. While our protective VLF bubble is probably the best influence we humans have made on the space surrounding our planet, it's certainly not the only one. We've been making our mark on space since the 19th century, and particularly over the past 50 years, when nuclear explosions were all the rage. These explosions created artificial radiation belts near Earth that resulted in major damages to several satellites, the NASA team explained. Other anthropogenic impacts on the space environment included chemical release experiments, high-frequency wave heating of the ionosphere, and the interaction of VLF waves with the radiation belts. Astronomer Carl Sagan wanted to find unequivocal indications of life on Earth from up in space. Turns out there are a bunch of them if you know where to look. And that is the end of the article. Now, this is absolutely groundbreaking if you think about it. The fact that the outermost edge of this bubble is right up against the innermost edge of the radiation belts means that it's literally pushing that radiation belt away from us. So if you think about that, what we have is a shield. Okay, we have created a bubble around Earth, a shield around our Earth that protects us from high radiation. Okay, it's going to protect us from like solar flares, solar storms, those kind of things possibly as well. Very interesting, very cool stuff. I might do an episode on staring about this and get into way more detail about it than I'm going to do here. But this is absolutely an amazing discovery. And to think that we made this by accident is actually pretty damn cool. Alright, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. And thank you for all your support. Until I speak to you again, love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.